Let's switch a little bit also to some of the places I've seen a lot of these other IAM providers fall short, which is the desktop, right? So looking at what we've seen multi-factor, we've seen self-service, and then you were just touching upon web SSO, right? But how about one of the most important access points, which I would say is the desktop login or the Control-Alt-Delete login. So how does Portalguard help there, Greg?
Sure. So yeah, for years Portalguard has an optional piece that our customers could use called the Portalguard Desktop, and so it does a couple different things. It started out again like our server did so long ago as a password reset mechanism, and so you can see this forgot password. You can click that; it'll actually bring up a browser shell and allow users to reset a password without having to go to their neighbor, or in that case, I guess in COVID now, they would actually have to go and leave their house and go to their neighbor's house. But back in the days of the office, you ask to use an coworker's, machine, but you don't have to do that. So that was the first part. Now the main part that we're seeing this utilized for is for more secure access into a workstation, a Windows workstation, or even into Windows servers. We see a lot of our IT employees from our customers are requiring multi-factor to get in and administer Windows servers by requiring multi-factor. And so Portalguard, the Portalguard Desktop, again, it's been around for a long time. We've recently added the Fingerprint Biometric support to it. So being able to, it is a client-side install, but it's an MSI, so it's very easy to push out automatically. So, in this case, being able to require, I enter the right username and password, but now having the ability to, prompt the user for different types of a second factor. So in this case, you could see my security policy, and actually my user profile was allowing, or it was set to use YubiKey as the default. But again, there's a whole bunch of different methods here, where I can choose from to get into this, whether it's a Windows server or Windows workstation. I can go ahead and I can initiate, for example, maybe it's name, password, and I didn't have my YubiKey, but guess what? I have my finger. And so I can go ahead and do that second factor, do the fingerprint biometrics. And again, that web key dialog that came up, that's actually completely skinnable as well. Just like the Portalguard web interface is completely brandable. That web key dialog that came up was actually it's an HTML5 skin that you can completely control, as a customer as well. So those fallback options are very important, and so besides being able to, obviously that works great when you're online. Portalguard Desktop also supports offline, right? So for example, if the user's on a plane and they brought their laptop, they do not need to always be able to connect to the internet in order to log in. So we have a couple different options, whether it's like a mobile authenticator. The fingerprint option also supports offline access as well. And then for convenience, and we see this a lot in the finance industry, where potentially if you've got tellers that move around between common workstations a lot, being able to authenticate into a workstation just with a fingerprint, right? I didn't give my username, I did not give my password. All I'd have to do is, again, since this is a centrally controlled biometric, I only have to enroll once, and now I can log into any machine in that environment with that biometric.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think that question just came through too, which you just showed, which is the passwordless access at the device. And that's what we basically see is being able to use biometric to access even a shared workstation or the desktop itself gives you that passwordless option. As you saw, Greg's just literally putting his finger down. There's no other entry of credentials and being able to gain access to the machine. So that absolutely is supported as well. That's great.